Let's take a look at the chart for Bitcoin. All right, so here's what we've been looking at. We're on the daily time frame right now, and we're looking at this trend line right here. Let's go ahead and delete everything. Actually, we'll just delete it like that. We have support right here, drawing this trend line, something like this. And what I was saying in my last video is if we can hold support here, then maybe we can bounce out, or maybe we'll get a bounce and start reversing. Or if we break this trend line going to the downside, what I'll be looking at is this previous support down here at around 29.8k, maybe 30,000, somewhere around there. So right now, what I do like is that we are still holding support right here. We haven't just crashed down below this line and started looking for the next support. So yeah, so far we are holding support right here, and hopefully we can get a reversal out of here right now. However, we still haven't broken this trend line that we're going to the downside. We have resistance right here, resistance. Let's draw this trend line right here. And once we break this trend line, then we can get much more confident on where we're going, or if that we're continuing to go to the upside. Right now, what I'm thinking is there might be a little bit of volatility. It does look like we're holding support right here, but I'm wondering if maybe we're going to be bouncing something like that. We already kind of got a little bounce up and then kind of came back down. It's already been a little bit volatile. It hasn't been moving like that far up and down. Let me zoom in. We're on the 4-hour time frame right now, and I was talking about it yesterday, we had like a little triangle pattern, something like this, I think it was. We had a triangle pattern, something like this. I was dragging from the top to the bottom. I was dragging it to the breakout. We didn't quite come up to the target, but it kind of went up there, and then it kind of got pushed down. What I'm thinking we could do now is maybe drag this trend line, maybe something like this, drag it to that top and this top, and then drag it from this bottom right here and then this bottom right here. So we might be looking at kind of like a new little pattern, something like that. This is on the 4-hour time frame, so it's pretty decent. Like I said, it's at least we're still above this trend line right here, this one right there. That's like the bigger time frame one anyways. So I think as long as we can stay above that, that's a good signal. If we start breaking below that, that's going to be a bad signal. Like, we have this trend line right here. If we start breaking below that and we like close below that, then I think that'll be not a good signal, and we might be looking at these lower levels down here at around 30k. So I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm glad that we're just holding support right now. We haven't broken this little level right here. Let's do a trend line. Let's do a horizontal line, something like right here. This is like the bottom. So I mean, if we start breaking below this orange line at 39,742, we already kind of went down and touched it. Let's see right here, something like that. We actually wicked down perfect right there. That's interesting. We came down, wicked down perfect right there, and then we got to bounce back up. So that's probably a good sign. If we can hold right here and keep pushing up, that'll be very good. But if we break below this, then we can expect to probably go to 30,000. That's what I'm thinking anyways. So yeah, let's go ahead and delete this trend line right here, because right now what I'm going to be probably looking at is we're on the 4-hour time frame. We got that resistance, support. We're forming this triangle pattern, something like this. Let's see if we break to the upside or to the downside. I think if we break to the upside, or what we could do is drag from the top to the bottom of this triangle. Once we do break out, then we could drag from the top to the bottom, something like that. Drag this to the breakout, wherever that happens to be, and we could look at something like that. Or if it breaks to the downside, maybe something like that. I mean, we might be coming down to that 39629 level if we break to the downside, and then if we break to the upside, we might be coming up to this previous support up here at around 43,436 or something like that. I mean, that's assuming that we're breaking out at like pretty much the end of the triangle right here. But it's also possible that we break sooner, something like this or something like this. If we do, then we can kind of switch up our targets a little bit. So it really depends on where we break out and which way we break out. Like I said, we're on the 4-hour time frame. What I do is watch this trend line right here. If we break this trend line going to the upside, then I would probably target this previous resistance sitting around 43.4k. If we break to the downside, what I'll be doing is targeting this previous support, this little wick right here, sitting at around 39629, which is also where it dropped down right here in the past. So yeah, that's pretty much how I would go about this little area right here. Like I said, what I'm kind of thinking is that it might break to the upside and we might get some volatility. So I'm thinking it might break to the upside. This is just my opinion or speculation, but maybe break to the upside, get rejected right here, and then come back down to like retest maybe this one, and then get a bounce, something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking that there might be some volatility in general, but because I'd rather be bouncing in this little area right here, kind of bouncing on this, rather than just kind of getting rejected and just pushing down. I mean, or even just hitting this one and getting rejected and pushing down. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Hopefully we can hold support in this area like I've been talking about on pretty much every one of my videos. I really just want to hold support at this 40,000 level, pretty much above 39,629. I think once we start going below that, then I'm going to be starting to look at these 30,000 levels. And yeah, so I'm really hoping we can get a bounce out right here and kind of break this trend line. First trend line we have to break is this one right here. Then if we come up, maybe we can kind of get out of this little trading zone or this little resistance zone, start pushing up, and maybe try to get into this zone over here. Maybe we could break this trend line, start to at least try to kind of push back up and start to get new highs and higher highs and stuff like that. But right now we are trending down. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think though. If you have any questions, come check out my Discord. I'll leave a link in the comments. If you want to get access to more price targets, custom videos, or one-on-one sessions, check out my Patreon. If you guys like Bitcoin, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to technical analysis and wondering where to start, check out this playlist right here. It's an intro to TradingView and it'll help you follow along with the videos. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.